For many years, Burkina Faso was shaped by a system where natural resources, especially gold, were controlled by foreign companies. The state held only small symbolic shares in the mining projects, while most of the profits were sent to other countries. Local communities were left poor, with almost no infrastructure. In past governments, unclear contracts, a weak tax system, and the presence of corrupt middlemen made it impossible for gold to bring real benefits to the people. Some mines were not even licensed, many exports were not reported, and there was very little control over what was actually being produced. When Ibrahim Traoré came to power, he made a clear break from this system. From the beginning, he said that the country's resources belong to the people and promised to completely change how the mining sector is run. His first actions focused on canceling unfair contracts, stopping illegal money flows, and putting the state back in charge of gold production. At the same time, the legal system was reorganized so that every gram of gold would be recorded, taxed, and added to the national budget. Starting in June 2025, the Burkinabe state launched a direct and coordinated action to take control of major mining companies. In less than a month, the government gained full ownership of 2 operational mines and canceled 3 exploration licenses previously granted to foreign firms. Weekend Gold SA and Samafu Bongo SA previously held 90% of the exploitation rights, while the state only had a minor 10% stake. Through swift legal and executive measures, Burkina Faso took over 100% of the shares, completely removing the influence of foreign shareholders. The 3 exploration licenses were revoked on grounds of inactivity, tax evasion, and failure to meet social obligations toward local communities. The state transferred the exploration rights to public entities and local cooperatives. One of the most decisive measures taken by the Traoré administration was the complete elimination of intermediaries from the gold trade chain. Under the previous regime, brokers, export agents, consultants, and smuggling networks controlled the actual gold flow, leading to massive losses for the state. In 2025, the price of gold increased by more than 27% in just the first 6 months, driven by global inflation and political instability around the world. Market estimates suggest that gold could reach $120,000 per kilogram by the end of the year, which would be a historic record. This allowed the country to turn a moment of global speculation into a real economic tool. It helped build national reserves and gave the government more money to invest in domestic projects. Instead of selling gold quickly, the state started treating it as a long-term asset, even using it in future financial and monetary plans. Shortly after gold revenues began to rise rapidly, President Traoré ordered a full audit of the entire mining sector. The goal was to identify financial leaks, fraudulent contracts, and networks of institutional corruption. The results were devastating. Phantom mines were discovered, reporting zero production while operating at full capacity. Manipulated measurement scales were identified, used to underreport the actual quantity of gold extracted. Entire shipments were exported without appearing in customs records. Following the audit, the government issued direct dismissal orders for dozens of high-ranking officials involved in complicity or negligence. Several foreign operators were permanently banned from conducting business in Burkina Faso. In addition, arrests were made among traffickers and company representatives involved in fraud. A key step was the launch of a public transparency platform where anyone can view in real time the amount of gold extracted, the level of taxes collected, the destination of public funds generated from gold. This digital transparency is unique in the region and has significantly reduced the risk of corruption. Today, any investor or citizen can verify whether a company is meeting its contractual obligations and how much of the gold production actually reaches the state. The audit was not a symbolic gesture. It was a systemic intervention that fundamentally restructured the mechanisms of control, monitoring, and budget execution in the gold sector. A national gold registry was established, ensuring every gram is recorded, tracked, and taxed. Exports are carried out only through official channels, with verifiable documentation and full traceability. This measure led to an immediate increase in tax revenues without the need to boost production. In parallel, a campaign was launched to verify transport and export licenses, resulting in dozens being suspended or permanently revoked. Any foreign company that wishes to operate must now collaborate with local entities and comply with the new fiscal and social conditions. By eliminating middlemen, the state gained full control over the added value. There are no longer any explainable losses or leaks of commercial information. The profit remains in the country, and for the first time, the extraction and trade process is clear and supervised. A program called Mine to Market has been launched, through which local communities near mining operations receive direct dividends proportional to the monthly output of those mines. This means steady income for nearby villages without relying on donations or aid. The funds are used according to local development plans approved in communal councils. As a result, decision-making remains at the community level, and corruption is significantly reduced through public monitoring and local audits. This method has transformed gold from a passive resource into an active engine of community development, avoiding losses through centralized bureaucracy or clientelist networks. With the accumulation of $1.1 billion from gold in just 3 months, Burkina Faso gained the capacity to completely break away from conditional loans provided by international financial institutions such as the IMF or the World Bank. Instead of relying on foreign aid with conditions, the government initiated internal funding for key strategic projects. Major infrastructure, defense, and research initiatives were launched independently, using only national resources and without external oversight. This new model allowed the government to prioritize projects based on actual needs, not based on the interests of external creditors. There is no longer pressure for forced privatizations, arbitrary budget cuts, or reforms dictated from abroad. Gold is now being used as a reserve guarantee in commercial transactions with other African countries, particularly Mali and Niger, outside the systems dominated by the CFA franc or the US dollar. Work is underway to implement a regional trade mechanism backed by gold, which would drastically reduce French monetary influence. Advanced discussions among the 3 countries aim to establish a trade zone based on gold, where regional exchanges would take place without foreign currencies, relying instead on their own gold reserves. This initiative would drastically reduce dependence on the CFA franc and Western banking systems. Domestically, the Burkinabe government has begun construction of the country's first national gold refinery, designed to process the entire domestic gold output. As a result, the export of raw ore will be replaced by finished products with higher added value, and prices will no longer be dictated externally. At the same time, gold revenues are being used to diversify the country's economic base. Investments in green energy, particularly solar and hydro, expansion of local production capacities including construction materials and agricultural equipment, promotion of domestic tourism with a focus on historic mining regions. Traoré is not only aiming for Burkina Faso's independence, but is building a functional alternative for the entire region, a model in which natural resources finance emancipation, not dependence. What is your opinion about the things done recently? Do you think the country will continue to prosper? Thank you for watching until end. You will definitely like the rest of the videos about Burkina Faso on the channel, and don't forget to subscribe.